Morale at Rockstar is at an all-time low right now after the announcement of Take-Two deciding to delay Grand Theft Auto 6 for reasons to, according to them, make the game work better, I guess. I don't know. And because the morale is so low, we actually have employees, verified employees, taking to forums to vent frustration of their current status right now. This is from Ben, who says, an anonymous Rockstar employee has made a post on GTA forums with the ongoing situation at Rockstar Games. This has been verified by GTA forums staff, and they have a link to it. They said, hey, everyone, Rockstar employee of many years here. Understandably, I want to remain anonymous due to retaliation from the company, but I may be willing to verify I'm an employee with Spider-Vice via DM if required. I am also a member of the union. I've been reading a lot of the discussion on here and elsewhere about the firing of more than 34 of my colleagues last week, 31 in the UK, and 3 in Canada. And that was because they were trying to unionize and Rockstar just shut them down, allegedly, and have seen a lot of disinformation and lies that are really concerning, particularly concerning how so many folks are willing to believe the company's excuses. Last week, my colleagues who were in the studio were each individually messaged by HR for a short, friendly meeting under the friendly guise of, hey, are you free for a quick chat? Which I will tell you guys, if you work at a company and you get HR say, hey, are you free for a quick chat? You should probably start packing your stuff up at the desk before you even walk over there. Upon attending this meeting, they were handed an envelope with a short letter stating that their employment had been terminated for gross misconduct regarding posts made in Discord. They failed to provide any evidence when asked, nor was any stated in the letter, and did not divulge any other information or reasoning, and quote, no other reason. So I'll stop here and say the other rumors were that there were confidential information from Rockstar being posted on public discords. And many of these same people were also apparently, allegedly coordinating unions separately from these messages that were allegedly, I mean, try to keep up. There's a lot going on with these Rockstar employees right now. So it's kind of like a he said, she said right now, but I will say, if this is true that they did not post these messages, they have a lawsuit on their hands where they could be like, I never did that. You're suing me for something that, or you're firing me for something I never did. So I'm going to take legal action. They refused their right to union representation in the disciplinary meeting, which is against UK employment law, and were frog marched out of the studio with the meeting lasting less than 5 minutes. Woo! Not looking good for Rockstar if this is true. For colleagues who were not in the studio that day, they received a phone call from HR that lasted less than 2 minutes, telling them that they were fired and that they'd received the same letter as above. I am aware of one employee who had a panic attack at this moment, and HR hung up on them during the panic attack, not caring about their well-being. I hate to chuckle, but it's like, HR don't give a shit about your feelings. They don't. If you have run out of usefulness, they don't. This is the truth. This is the truth. If they can find usefulness for you, they'll pretend that they care about your feelings the whole time. These colleagues of mine were hard workers who have spent many, many years at Rockstar in critical roles, with colleagues who have been at Rockstar for more than 18 years, and none of them have ever had a disciplinary in that time. They are not easily replaced and will certainly affect us in making our project deadlines. Oof. Maybe this has something to do with the game being delayed. These are very senior artists, animators, QA testers, designers, programmers, and producers, including leads, all super talented people who were proud of their work over multiple Rockstar titles. This is terrible, I'll say, because it's basically working on a game for how many years, working your ass off, just to one day have HR be like, hey, thanks for everything you've done. There's the door. The game's not even out yet. You can't even be fulfilled for the game launching with everything you've done to get to the point. Oof, oof. And all they wanted was the best for Rockstar and their fellow colleagues. Some of these members were off sick, recovering from surgery, or on paternity leave, fired without pay, losing their careers and putting them into hardship in the lead up to Christmas, and even potentially losing their visas to work in the UK. Oof, oof, oof. Let me make this clear. I never saw any discussion leaking of Rockstar projects in the union Discord. The only ever discussion was around unionization efforts and the working conditions at Rockstar. The Discord wasn't public. It was a private Discord group that only contained Rockstar employees and the IWGB union officials. This was union busting and nothing else. Everyone fired was a union member. They were also predominantly from those who were on the union organizing committees of each UK studio. Just 1 week before, the union had reached 200 members, taking us over the 10% threshold required to seek recognition and begin engaging in collective bargaining, allowing us to negotiate directly with management on key issues that affect us: worsening crunch, inadequate pay, and inflexible working arrangements. Now, I'll tell you guys, I've said this before too. I think unions are extremely important in certain walks and aspects of life. In the entertainment industry, I have a hard time going along with them because even from my own experience working at Sony Online Entertainment, I had gone into it with the expectation of I was a temp employee. I was never hired on fully. I had the hope of if I worked there long enough, maybe they would decide to hire me on if I wanted to stick around and get to that point of maybe they would decide to. I knew every single day that I went in could be my last day. And I accepted the job knowing that because I really wanted to work in gaming. And it's just that's the industry. The pay was shit. And I remember talking to my lead about it saying, why don't we get paid more? It's a lot of work. I know people hear QA testing and be like, oh, what do you just sit around, play video games? It's a lot of work replaying the same area over and over again, pausing it, putting the bugs into the system, sending them to the right people, checking in on other bugs, referencing what you've put in before, making sure what was patched is actually fixed in the upcoming patch that came out. Just all these things you had to do over and over and over every single day. It wasn't just playing through a game, which people think it is. It's literally anything but that. You're playing parts and sections of games over and over again. I never went into the gaming industry with the expectation of, yes, the gaming industry will be there to support me. It's like, no, that's show business, bro. One day you're there, one day you're not. It sucks, but if you can prove your worth, they will keep you around. And many times they did. But sometimes situations go bad. Games don't sell anymore. These companies make a lot of money when they do. They lose a tremendous amount of money when they don't. It's a very dog eat dog world, and it's unsustainable to unionize something that doesn't have a guarantee. It's really hard to do that. And while Take-Two obviously has the money and they could do it, it would be a very dangerous precedent because only certain studios would have the unions, others wouldn't. Some would be able to afford it, others wouldn't. Then it would send other studios into, why can't we be like that? Why can't we? And then everyone else, and it's a slippery slope to everyone else doing it. Again, I just don't personally think that they belong in the game industry. I do feel like there are areas in this world where unions are important. I don't think gaming is one of them. They have fired over 34 of us now. There were over 250 of us in that union employee Discord group. There is the fear that if they get away with this, they'll have nothing stopping them from doing this again and again. Okay, so focus on making the game great, making your money. You can do it better than them. Go start your own game company. There are so many avenues and ways to create your own games these days that I have a really hard time. I pull out the world's smallest violin for these people. It's like, if you are not useful at the company, you will not have a job there. Welcome to fucking reality. These people are so used to being coddled to expectations of just showing up and getting a paycheck. That's not how this works. Those of us who are lucky and remain for now work in fear, fearful when talking to each other at our tea prep, fearful that we're next in line and easily gotten rid of. Well, again, cry me a river, bro. Every company I've worked at in my life, I've gone through situations where I've seen rounds of layoffs happen, and it's tough. It's really hard because when you go to work the next day and a third of the people are gone that you used to work with, it's depressing. It makes you like wonder, are you next? What happens? No matter how hard you work, could you just be let go? And the reality is, yes. Yes, and that's not just in the video game industry. That's everywhere I've worked. Welcome, welcome to capitalism, bro. Enjoy your time here. Like, it's just by going down this road of guaranteeing jobs, guaranteeing employment. It is literally going down the road of communism. It really is. At the end of the day, if you're starting to guarantee a job to someone, what reason would they have to pour their heart and soul into getting something done? Why wouldn't they just do the bare minimum every single day? Too scared to go outside of the studio and talk to or even acknowledge our colleagues outside protesting in fear of reprisals. Morale at the studio is at rock bottom. When we should be excited about what's to come over the next year, we are now totally deflated, and our trust and confidence in others is totally shot. Again, I'm sorry that you're emotionally dealing with this struggle. Your option is to pull yourself together and go to work, or apply other places and hopefully have a better time at those companies. It sounds to me like you do not like this parent company, that you do not like the company you're working for. And I know the game industry is shrinking and there's a lot of power going to these bigger companies right now. It ebbs and flows, which is truly heartbreaking part. As for us in the union, all of our ambition was to make Rockstar a happier, fairer, safer, and more equitable place. Oh, you want that DEI, baby? Yeah, safer and equitable. What? So people that can't pull their weight, you just bring them up to the hard work that other people are doing at the company for equality's sake, and make it safe for them to not lose their job for doing less. No, that's all. What has happened clearly shows that we care more about the well-being of our colleagues at Rockstar than the company does. Yes, that again, every company I've worked at, that's when layoffs happen. That's the feeling I've had. It sucks, bro. It really sucks. I know. The union remains unbowed and is fighting to win the reinstatement of every dismissed member of staff at Rockstar through legal means and campaigning. This fight is critical. If Rockstar can get away with this, they will keep treating their workers with disdain, disrespect, and subjecting them to continued illegal treatment. Again, if it's illegal treatment, they have a lawsuit on their hands. That's how this works. Thanks for your time. And I hope this is some truth that helps you all understand what's going on here at the moment. If you would be so kind, you can contribute to the fundraiser to support those fighting the dismissals here. I would really appreciate it if you could share the above link. They don't even say how much money they've raised. They just privately say, just give us money. It goes to us, the fired employees. Like, here's the thing. To what this person's saying, this rogue employee that says the morale is at an all-time low at Rockstar, if it is true that these people did not disperse real, tangible, private information about the games for Rockstar or anything on Discord, and there's no proof Rockstar has of it, and they said that's why they got fired, that is a very big cash windfall lawsuit. Like, Rockstar is on the hot seat that needs to prove it now. I can promise you guys, Take-Two is not an idiotic company, and they know this. They wouldn't just randomly just start firing people and blame it on something and lie about it, because they know that would come back and haunt them. If I get proven wrong on this and they get sued, and I'd be like, wow, they're retarded. But as of right now, my initial impression is I am inclined to believe that Take-Two had information of these people that said, this is a danger to our company. We do not like our information being put out there. I'd imagine there were warnings that were put out, maybe not directly to these individuals, but warnings put out to the company on the whole saying private information proprietary to Rockstar is not to be disseminated on Discord or social media or however they'd say it. I'm sure that went out multiple times. And these people continue to do it. And they said, oh, nothing proprietary. Oh, so you think it's nothing proprietary. But what if Rockstar looks at it and says, "Wow, that is actually proprietary"? Now it's a he said, she said. So it does make you wonder what comes next. Grand Theft Auto 6 is delayed until November 19th, 2026. And with the morale at the company, what seems like as an all-time low, it makes me wonder if it really is to, as they say, fix the game up, or what was it? We add additional time to finish the game with a level of polish that you have come to expect and deserve. X to doubt on that. It sounds to me like the game's ready to go. These people were causing problems. Let them go. And let's delay the game. Try to find roles to fill these people that we just let go to finish touching up the game and get it out the door. But in reality, they really just want to push it to holiday 2026 to maximize the profits with it. This is Rockstar North posted. Nikki says, anyways, I love my job. CEO of lesbianism. Nikki says, no, I don't. So this is the same Nikki. Now I understand. I'm confused. Did they have two different accounts? They must have two different accounts because it's both Nikki. And they posted, I love my job in 2024. And now they said, no, I don't. It's a shit show. And we'll leave it with this. Dexerto says, protests have broken out outside of Rockstar Games Edinburgh studio, Take-Two's office in London. Protesters accuse the company of union busting after it fired 30 to 40 staff. But Rockstar says they were fired for leaking company secrets. I was dismissed without warning, without evidence, and without a chance to speak for myself, all because I talked with colleagues in a private union chat. We weren't leaking anything. I got to be honest, guys. What it sounds like to me is that there's stuff that could be construed as leak. And Take-Two is like, here's an opportunity for us to break this union up. And we'll just point to that. That's the reality. And I think Take-Two looked at it as, yeah, there's enough here at the Discord for if they do try to sue us, we can just point to this and say, no, this is the real reason. And it'll be kind of ambiguous, but I have a feeling that's the reality of what transpired here. These employees are disgruntled, so always be cautious when listening to their stories, because they're going to have an angle of hating the corporate and Big Daddy Corpo's the bad guy. And I'm not here to defend Take-Two. I'm just saying that this is one of those situations where I see where Take-Two is coming from, and they're probably trying to protect their interest with the situation moving forward. And with how valuable the company is, they're not taking any risks at all. So I'm curious to see what comes from this, but I can promise you guys, this is not the last we've heard of this situation with these employees in Rockstar. I can pretty much guarantee you that there will be lawsuits, and I will definitely be keeping you posted on those when that happens. But for now, I'll leave that one right there.